Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. So, Tottenham Hotspur have just beaten Fulham in the Premier League 1-0 at Craven Cottage. We're now 4 points away from the top four in the Premier League. I've got Spurs fan Alex with me. Alex, how did you see the game tonight? Pleased with the performance?
First half was good. I was really glad that Dele Alli played, and he looked really good. And I still don't like Bell down that right-hand side. I think the press after the Burnley game was just over the top for me, just in my opinion. But yeah, the first half was really good. Second half, it looked like Fulham had more energy than us, and I think that's down to fitness. The players that we've got at the moment, they're very limited to what they can do, and Fulham should have really got something out of the game. But we did grind it out, and I think in overall, I think it's a good result for us, and we can move on to Crystal Palace, and that's it.
Alex, do you see this as like a typical Jose Mourinho style performance as a manager? You know, grinding these results out when most needed.
I think you can look at it like that in terms of I think it's just the way the game went. I think Fulham, to their credit, they changed things in the second half, and I mean, to be honest, in the first half, I think at the beginning of the first half, I could see that they were very, very hard at us, but we did try and match them, which we were really good, I thought, and we should have really taken our chances in the first half. However, I think Fulham did step up in the second half, and I just think that limitations of some of our players, and it's also down to the flexibility of our players and energy as well. Fulham have more energy. They just took advantage. I think they're taking advantage of that right-hand side where Bell was. And I'm not just picking on Bell. I just think Bell's better up front, or give him a free roll or something like that, because he hasn't got any pace. And I think it's just shown throughout the first half, because you can see in the first half, when the ball came across, he was always in the box. And I think he's better near the box because he's very lethal, I think, for me. I think the midfield, I think Ndombele, who has impressed me, but you know, he tired you in that second half. So I think that didn't do too well to us. I still do not like that centre back pairing of Sanchez and Alderweireld, two right footers. Doesn't make sense to me, but I guess it's the way it is at the moment. So that's why I think, you know, I know people don't like Dyer, but I think it's Cobbs' shot. But I think it's kind of a situation where if you put Dyer there, it's more balanced with either Alderweireld or Sanchez. I think people have a go at Davies too much for me, and I think Doherty, he's still trying to get used to that position of right back as well. So I think there's a balance issue. We don't press as a team. We did press in the first half individually, but we don't press as a team like Fulham were doing. So I think it's all those combinations of things, I think.
So you didn't like the starting 11 to begin with, Alex? No.
I actually like the starting 11, but I just didn't think we had in the first half we were really good. I think in terms of trying to press them, but I think we were doing it individually, not as a team. And I think that's the key thing here. Collectively, we weren't doing it as a team. And then I think because of that, we tired during that second half. And obviously, certain players have played a lot of games recently, so it's going to tell in that second half, wasn't it? So I think that's one of the key things that are why we didn't do well in the second half. But Fulham did very well as well, so I've got to give them credit as well.
They did do very well in the second half, but of course Dele Alli, obviously he had a big hand in the goal, and it was credited as an own goal in the end. But Dele Alli, you know, going forward, passed it out to Son. Son crossed, and Dele Alli flicked it, hit the defender, went in. But at that point, are you not thinking as a Tottenham fan, you know, we need to put this game to bed, because we have been in this situation so many times, you know, during the season, you know, going 1-0 up, and then you score another goal, you put the game to bed. You know, it's job done. rather than all of us Tottenham fans feeling very, very nervous, in that second half in particular. If you were a Fulham fan, Alex, you'd feel very disappointed tonight, wouldn't you?
I would feel disappointed. I think it's like I said, it's a collective thing for me. I think it's the personnel, and I'm not saying because we can't change the players that we've got at the moment, but I think it's the fitness of the players, and we're not pressing as a team really. I do get concerned because whether or not we take the lead or not, a game's 90 minutes. You see, and I feel that we've got no energy during the last part of the game, which really concerns me, because I think last 50 minutes of the game is the most crucial part of the game for me, and you can either win a game or lose a game in that last 15 minutes. Tottenham, I don't think have come back from a 1-0 or 2-0 recently in the game. I can't remember now. I know we did it at the beginning of the season with Man United and Southampton, two examples. But recently we haven't done that, and I think that's down to the energy of the team. I feel that the substitutions didn't really help because Sissoko is very limited, and I'm not having to go at the player because I'm going to look at the overall squad rather than just looking at just the team, because that wins you things, overall squad, than just one team, 11 men in the team. But I just think that there's certain players that just got limitations to what they can do, and I think that didn't really help the substitutions for me. Sissoko coming on, it kind of just put our intention straight away. We're going to defend. Moira, he's better in the middle or up front. It's quite clear now. I don't know what's happened to Bergwijn, because I think Bergwijn has got a good purpose in this team. I think people have a bit harsh about it, because he does have a purpose when he's on that right hand side. I think he would have been better on that right hand side than Bell, to be honest. Again, I'd still point out that if he's further forward, Bell, he's a better player for me. So I think there's a lot of things there that just shows you that we are quite far away from top 4 this season. It's quite. I know, but the thing is that we're only going for one position. I think I've said this before. This is like, ironically, last season I said to you, we're only going for one position, and I think we're only chasing one position at the moment, because I think Man United and Leicester City are too far ahead at the moment, and until. Hopefully we can carry on this run. I think the best hope for us at the moment is getting into Europa League and winning the Europa League this season, and that's the best hope for me, to get into Champions League this season.
Do you know, Alex, looking at the table, Leicester are in 3rd. They've played 27. They've got 50 points. We've played 26. We've got 42 points. We win our game in hand. We're 5 points behind them. And, it's a very, very funny season. Teams are dropping points all over the place. You don't know what's going to happen. How confident are you right now that Tottenham will get that top 4 place?
I'm not very confident at all, to be honest with you, because I don't think Leicester are going to drop points. I really hope that you're right. I was on another stream with a Man United fan on the Football Terrace, and he's very unsure about it as well. But he thinks Tottenham's still got a chance as well, which I would love to think that, but because I would love to get ahead of Leicester, because I don't want them in the top 4, because I don't think that's good for Tottenham if we're not in the Champions League. They are in the Champions League, so I would love that to happen. But I just feel that at the moment we need to just keep on winning at the moment. I think that's the main thing for Tottenham, is just keep on winning our games, and that's it. And then we see what happens, and that's it, really.
But we are doing that, Alex, because of course the last 3 games now. I know some people will say, it's not against the best opposition, Wolfsburg, Burnley, and Fulham, but. Up to this point, we were in dreadful form in the Premier League. Our last 2 Premier League games, 6 points, 3 clean sheets out of 3 in all competitions. It's been a very good week for Spurs. And I know lots of people are being quite negative tonight and saying, it's really bad you know, the way we played in that second half. But surely all of us have to take the positives out of these 3 games, particularly after the football that we had been playing in the month previous and the results previous as well. You know, surely we've got to go into the next few games against Crystal Palace, Arsenal, and of course the Europa League games as well with full confidence.
I think you are right in what you're saying, but I'm looking at it constructively. So, constructively, I think Burnley on Sunday, I think Burnley were absolutely awful. They gave us so much space. In terms of the space that they gave us, Bell, I mean, if you give that space to quality players that we've got at the moment, what do you expect? You know, you're going to punish them, especially that first goal. That just summed it up with that game, really, wasn't it? Really. But yeah, I think you've got to look at if you look at it positively. Yes, we could sneak into top 4. Yes, but we need to just keep on winning our games, and that's it. I mean, you know my feeling about the manager. I don't like him, but I didn't like the whole rumour thing about him getting sacked, because I just think it's pointless. I think we need to keep him. He's, you know, I would be happy if we sacked our manager at the end of the season and we had to pay him off 35 million, because I'd be absolutely livid, because I'll sit there and think, well, if you're paying 35 million to get rid of Mourinho, why do you not get him a defender? Why do you not get him a defender? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So for me, I think we need to keep on winning, just keep on going, and hopefully things can pick up. But I'm still skeptical whether we can make it, because we are literally just playing for one position at the moment. If they do, Leicester and Man United lose more games, it does open it up, and I think it makes it a really good race to get into top 4. And it gives us a really good chance. But playing for one position, I never feel confident in just playing for one position in the league. Definitely not.
The thing is, though, Alex, I think all of us Tottenham fans need to see some sort of positivity at the moment. You know, particularly, like I said, you know, those results leading up to these 3 games. You know, it might not be against the best opposition, but we've still had to get the wins, and we've still had to get the results. You know, 3 clean sheets as well. Going forward, you know, we've got this top 4 place, you know, hopefully to challenge for. We've got the League Cup final, and you know, we're doing fairly well in the Europa League, and you know, hopefully we can go very far in that, and hopefully we can get to the final. So, you know, what are you going to be pleased with at the end of the season?
Top 4 in the trophy, either way, whether it's the Europa League or Carabao Cup and Champions League. I think that will keep Kane here, Son here as well, because I think people forget that Son can go as well. And I mean, I'm not hopeful of loads of investment, but it will increase the opportunity of getting more new players in the team. So for me, I'm going to go with what the board say, and top 4 is the main Champions League. Either way, Champions League, either for the league or Europa League. I think if we win Europa League, Jose Mourinho is a hero, absolute hero. Because can you see that has Tottenham won anything major in their history, last couple of 10 years or 20 years? No, all we've won is the League Cup, haven't we? So.
And that was 13 years ago.
Exactly. So the League Cup, that's, I mean, yeah, I think it's kind of, I know people don't agree with me, but it's a tick box for me, because I've seen it before. And I think as a Tottenham fan for about 25 years, I've got entitled to have my own opinion on things. I'll be happy, but I would say it's no different to winning it in 2008. But if we win Europa League, it opens so many doors for Tottenham. It sends a big message out. It winds up Arsenal fans, definitely winds up Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans. It just stops the whole banter, everything, because it just says to me, you've won something really major. You got into Champions League, so I think it's it's a no-brainer, really. But if he does win the Carabao Cup and get into top 4, that's a similar. He's done better than Pochettino. Absolutely, completely. So you know, I think it's just a case of keeping on going, really. But I just look at that team, and I am very, very concerned about Alderweireld and Sanchez in that defence. I don't feel that they are compatible in terms of balance and that. And so I think if you put pressure on that partnership, I do worry about that partnership. But I mean, we need to try and get the best out of our squad at the moment. So, but also I want to say as well, I just want to say that people just need to just lay off players like Davis, Winks, Doherty. I just think that there's just too much criticism of those players. I know they're not great, but they are good squad players. And Davis, for me, was a very good player a couple of seasons ago. He was doing better than Rose, who's actually in front of Danny Rose. So, and Winks, I think he's just not got any confidence at the moment. Yes, granted, he might struggle to get into the team next season because of Skip, because Skip's doing really well at the moment, and he might be a better fit into the team than him at the moment. But I think they're all useful players, and I think, you know, they'll be useful for the squad going forward. And I think we just need to support them, not criticise them and stuff like that. I just think I'm just getting fed up with the criticism of those players.
Alex, who was your man of the match tonight, and who are you impressed with wearing a Spurs shirt?
I can't really pick out a man of the match, to be honest with you. I think if you really are put me down on one, I mean, I thought, you know, Dele Alli was, you know, it's good to see Dele Alli back. But I mean, overall, I couldn't really pick out somebody. I think they all did well in terms of getting the result, and that's it. I don't think anybody really stood out for me, to be honest with you.
I thought that Hugo Lloris played very well. Of course, 100 clean sheets on Sunday against Burnley in the Premier League, 101 now tonight against Fulham. You know, he's had a lot of criticism over the last couple of months about making mistakes and not playing very well in games. But at the back end of the season now, when Tottenham are hopeful of getting that European place, you know, you need your leaders to really step up. And I think that Hugo Lloris done that tonight. What do you think his performance?
I don't understand the criticism of him, to be honest with you. I really don't. I think it's a very difficult thing to find a good goalkeeper in the modern day football at the moment. I think he's a very good goalkeeper. Yes, he's not a shouter like a Højbjerg or like a John Terry or somebody like that. You see, but he's won the world. You know, he's a World Cup winner. He's won major honours in terms of internationals, and for me, you know, he's a very good goalkeeper. And you're going to be very hard felt to find another goalkeeper who's as good as a shot stopper as him. So I do agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. To be honest with you, I think he does make his mistakes, but what goalkeeper doesn't make mistakes? And I've heard so many people saying, "Oh, we need to get a new goalkeeper. Get this goalkeeper. Get this goalkeeper." But you know, a goalkeeper does need to get used to things. You know, with their defence, getting used to their players and stuff like that. So yeah, I totally agree with you that, you know, he's a very good goalkeeper, and I think people just need to let go of him. I'll tell you what, I'll be so worried if Joe Hart goes in goal, though. No disrespect, but I worry about him. I was not happy when Gazzaniga went back on loan. I was not happy at all. Absolutely not happy about that, because Joe Hart just worries me a lot. I've seen him in training, and it worries me. It does worry me a lot. So I mean, hopefully Lewis stays fit all season for us. I do, and I don't like criticising players, but Joe Hart does worry me, to be honest with you.
Alex, how are you feeling about the Crystal Palace game on Sunday now? Are you feeling confident as a Tottenham fan? The fact that we've gone 3 games unbeaten, 3 clean sheets, 3 wins. You know, are you feeling confident now?
Hopefully, yeah. I think we should do well in that game. Just focus on that game now. I think we should do well in that game, definitely. I think they'll change it around. Maybe play the players that weren't playing today. So, like Reguilon, for instance. You might I mean, I think Kane needs a rest for me, and I think Son does need a rest as well, because they've played a lot of minutes as well, and they've got the Europa League to worry about as well next game after that. But thinking about the Crystal Palace game, I mean, again, they've had a very good result against Man United, getting a draw. So it's just about us playing our game, and that's it. But again, I do feel that you're going to have tight games in the Premier League. So I think there's going to be one game that we're going to have to really play to us, play well for the whole game, and maybe score a late winner or something like that, and maybe even come back from 1-0 down or something like that as well. Because I haven't seen Tottenham recently do that. So I mean, that's what I talk about, flexibility, because not all the time a game goes for you for the whole game. So it's about going through different scenarios, whether you're up, in the game or down in the game. It's just trying to get out of that game and try and get a win. And that will tell for us finishing in a good position in the table.
Alex, Tom writes a comment here. When do you start Carlos Vinicius in the Premier League? It's a question I was going to ask you next, because Carlos Vinicius don't seem to get Premier League minutes under Jose Mourinho. When do Harry Kane and Heung-min Son, when do both of them get a rest? Because if you're thinking going into the Crystal Palace game, obviously you're going to want them to both starting against Arsenal at the Emirates, when we play them. But, for Palace, for example, you think that perhaps Harry Kane or Heung-min Son might get a rest. They're playing all these games. When do they get a break? When does Carlos Vinicius come in? Does he come in? Does Jose trust him? What are your thoughts?
The problem is with Vinicius, and this is why we struggle to get a striker to replace Harry Kane, is that it's Harry Kane. When Harry Kane's fit, he plays. That's it. That's why strikers don't want to come to us, because they know they're not going to play. And I think Vinicius knew straight away that he was not going to get that many minutes when Kane was, when he came to Tottenham. So it's annoying for me, because the thing is, though, you can see that Vinicius is not like Kane, and I think the problem is that I don't think they've figured out a way to play with Vinicius at the moment. I do think he's got a good connection with Moira. I do think he's got a very good connection with Moira, and I do see a good connection with Ali as well. But I just don't think they've found out a way to get the best out of him, because I think we'd still like to play Kane, the way that Kane plays, when he goes into that number 10 position and starts spraying the balls around and stuff like that. So I think for me, he's been unfortunate, because he has scored a lot of goals in the Cups and the Europa League in Europe as well. But I think it's just about systems, and that's why I come back to flexibility. When we were really good under Pochettino, I'm going to always mention Pochettino, because that's when we were the best. We were really at our best, and we were very dangerous to win, go and win major trophies. We were very flexible, very flexible in terms of, I look at the team at the moment, everyone's got their own position. If you take them out that position, they look a bit lost, if you know what I mean. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but if you got, you've only got Kane, that's kind of like very flexible, Songs, who's very flexible. Then you've got Bell, who's obviously, I don't think he should be down that right-hand side, but I think he should be more up front. But when you look at the other players, if you put Sissoko in the right-hand side, he looks lost, doesn't he? But if you've got Højbjerg can only do, that midfield, and then you've got Ndombele, who gets really tired, in that midfield, the number 5 or number 4 position. He just looks very, very lost sometimes, because he's very, if you put pressure on him, he gets really tired. So you have to play him in that number 10. So it's just it's not that much flexibility. And I think that's a struggle for me, I think. And I think that's something that we need to look at maybe in the summer to improve the team, I think, or try and do it over the season.
Alex, question now from Andy. Spurs can't be playing like that against other teams. Now, if Spurs play like that, like we did in the second half tonight against Crystal Palace on Sunday, then we could struggle.
Yeah, I do agree. But then it's about trying to I mean, at the end of the day, you're playing 3 games in a week. Okay, so I mean, when you listen to managers, it's like they're trying to. It's just trying to, you know, regain the fitness of the players, and that's it. Now you know who's going to play that game. It's going to be Kane and Son. Højbjerg is going to play. There's a toss-up between whether you're going to have Alderweireld in that game, because Alderweireld's played about 3 games in that game. 3 games, or no, I think he played. Did he play? He played against. He played the Europa game, didn't he? And he played against Burnley, didn't he? So that's now 3 games he's already played already, hasn't he? So you know,
tonight, Alex, was our 44th game of the season in competitive competition. It's crazy.
I know. I mean, but this is what we knew this was going to happen, though, Chris. We knew this was going to happen, and you know, at the beginning of the season, everybody said after the summer we had the best squad. This was the best squad. Okay. Yeah. Now I do blame Jose in terms of not taking responsibility over the January transfer window, because it wasn't good, the things that were coming out, especially about Dele Alli and Gareth Bale. I think that did damage to our season. I think that did a huge amount of damage to our season. But you know, it's about using the squads. You know, what I don't like is that a lot of Spurs fans say, and this is for all fans, they say, well, if we don't have this player, you don't have our star player, you don't have this player, oh, what do you expect? And I'm like, well, you know that you're going to get injuries in your season. That's why you've got a 25-man squad. The managers authorised those 25 men in their squad, saying this is my squad, like Pochettino said. Yeah. So if a player's injured, you've got players to replace them. So you've got to be ready. It's on the players as well, but it's about the manager giving them confidence, and that's it. So, you know, if you don't believe in that player and don't think he's good enough, get rid of him. Don't have him in your squad. But I do see the fact that Jose is not he's not as strong to say that, maybe, or you know, maybe because we've got Daniel Levy, who, you know, if he believes in that play, you'll make sure that play is still here. So, I mean, he's just got to just get on with it, you see, because you know, that's the way it's going to be at Tottenham, and I don't think it's going to change. It's never going to change at Tottenham. So, yeah, I just think that, you know, it's a case of believing in the squad that you've got, and these rumours about who's going and who's leaving and who's staying just doesn't help the squad at all, because you don't hear it for other teams that are doing well in the season. You don't hear any rumours about their players going off somewhere else, don't you? Because it's all fine. So that's what we need to focus on, those players that we've got at the moment, and that's it.
Alex, it's fair to say that you're not Jose Mourinho's #1 fan, but are you believing that he's going to be delivering at the end of the season for us?
Well, I'm going to surprise you, but I think we're going to win the Carabao Cup. I think we can win the Carabao Cup easily, because, well, no, I shouldn't say easy. I should say easy. I should change my terminology. But it will be a difficult game. But I think if you're talking about a one-off game, you know, you've got a chance. And I think Jose will do it for us in the Carabao Cup. Is it good enough? No, it's not, because I don't think. I mean, I listened to Alistair Gold. It was quite interesting, his analogy of Kane and Bale. Kane and Bale have got a little bit of competitiveness about them. Bale doesn't like the fact that, Kane doesn't like the fact that he's not the man, because everything was talking about Bale on Sunday, wasn't it? But he wants a bit of that, he doesn't like that. You see what I'm saying? I think it's a bit of competition there a little bit. You see what I'm saying? And I think that could work to our favour a little bit, because, it might just, give it more enthusiasm for Kane to stay and want to just like say, you know what, this is me here. So I want to show you, just because you come back doesn't mean that you're taking my spot as the #1 person. You know what I mean? So, but I still feel that to keep Kane at Tottenham, you need to get Champions League and a trophy.
Yeah,
I think it's got to be either or for me. Well, no, both of them or nothing for me, because I just think, especially Son, because for me, Son could go to Barcelona, Real Madrid easily, and I don't really care whether it's a pandemic. He could make that money back just by shirt sales, because so many South Koreans love him. You know, he's worshipped there. So, you know, it's basically a marketing joy. You know what I mean, Son? You know, because he's you know, you can market his shirt, and they love him. So, you know, I think we do need to get into Champions League and win a trophy. And if we win Europa League, like I said to you before, it changes Tottenham, changes the game for Tottenham completely for me.
Alex, lastly, give me a score prediction for Sunday's game against Palace.
3-0.
Another clean sheet, more goals.
Yeah, 3-0. 3-0. Yeah, I normally go for 2-1. I normally go for 2-1 because that's a safe option. But Palace have got no strikers, haven't they? Really, and Saha's not playing either. So I don't even know if he actually is playing, to be honest with you. But he hasn't been playing recently. I don't know what they're going to be like next in the game on Sunday. But I think it's going to be 3-0. Yeah, 3-0.
Well, let's hope that Tottenham get another 3 points. Just before I go, I'm just going to say hello to PFK 1945. Greetings from Partizan Belgrade. Now, I actually visited Partizan Belgrade last year, and the club were absolutely superb, very, very friendly. They let me walk around their stadium, very, very friendly. So I thought I'd say hello back. You know, so thank you very much for all of your messages and all of your comments on all of these videos. I do read every single one of them. Alex, thank you very much, and let's hope that your prediction is right on Sunday and Tottenham can climb up that Premier League table, because we are now only 4 points away from that top 4 spot. Let's hope that Tottenham can get Champions League football next season. Alex, thank you very much. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.